witnessed depression. A lot of you out there, if you're sitting there and you say you suffer from depression, you probably live a depressing life. You probably live a depressing life. So if I was you, I'd be depressed. But if you were me, you'd be happy. Do you know what could solve depression for most poor people? $1 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Boom. So how is it a disease? So when I say this to people, most of them agree and they go, okay, but if that's true, why do famous people kill themselves? And I say, well, I know you think you outsmarted me, but I'm Andrew Tate. And I have the answer. The reason is twofold. This absolute acceptance of depression and acceptance of weakness. When you accept anything, to a degree, you're promoting it. Weakness is promoted now and then, right?
Yeah.
So let's take Robin Williams as an example. Robin Williams killed himself.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Robin Williams, right? Famous. He could be banging 19-year-olds for the rest of his life. Multi-millionaire. Everyone loves him. How could he possibly kill himself? I'll tell you why. Because when he walked into the therapist's office and said, I feel depressed, the therapist said, okay, here's some mind-altering drugs. Start taking these. And then I need to see you 6 hours a day, every day, and we're going to talk about sad things for the next 10 years. He was in therapy for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to take mind-altering drugs and talk about sad things for 10 years, I'd kill myself. But if he would have walked into the therapist's office and the therapist said to him, you're Robin Williams. There are people in the world with no food.
Yeah.
There are families in Syria.
I say this
There
every
are
time.
school buses being bombed in Yemen. There are people who lost their entire family in a car crash today. You're Robin Williams, and everyone you love is in perfect health. You're a selfish idiot. Get out of my office. Get some balls.
Bam.
He'd still be alive today. The cure made it worse. And this whole society of accepting depression, as soon as someone's depressed, instantly go to them, oh, poor you. It's okay. We know you can't help it. You can't help it. Why are you telling people they can't help it? Why are you reinforcing that mindset in people? If you come to me and say you're depressed, I say, I will fix you. And you know what's crazy? When I said this depression thing wasn't real, do you know how many people stuck up for depression? You don't understand. I'm depressed. Depression's real. I was like, if it's so horrible, why are you defending it? You sound like it's a PR team. Why, like, well, I thought it was ruining your life, but you are desperate for me to believe in it. You want me to believe in it. You're sticking up for it. You're defending depression, trying to convince me it's real because it's your cure-all excuse for failure. When you're depressed, you can fail in every human metric. I fail at everything, but I'm depressed. It's not my fault. No, you're a failure. That's all you are because you're not trying very hard. If you live in a house, I say this all the time. This is the reason I don't believe in depression. Because I don't believe in depression, I cannot become depressed.
Bam.
No matter what the worst thing that could possibly happen to me on earth, I will feel sad, but I will recover and I will not become depressed because I don't believe in depression. If you're in an old haunted house, right? You have two people in two haunted houses. One believes in ghosts and one doesn't. You hear some noise in the night. The wind blows, right? The man who believes in ghosts is like, oh no, a ghost. Now he's scared, right? He wants an exorcist. He can't sleep. He's scared about ghosts. He's paranoid. The guy who doesn't believe in ghosts goes, wind, whatever. He goes back to sleep. Do you understand that it's the belief that gives it power?
Right.
If you don't believe in ghosts, the ghost can't hurt you. If you don't believe in depression, you can't become depressed. And I refuse to believe in something that's going to weaken me. Why would I believe in something that's going to weaken my ability to deal with problems in life? Why would I do that? I'm temporarily immortal. Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm temporarily immortal. And I'm not going to waste my living years believing in things which take power from me. Because I'm not an idiot. So if you're going to sit there and go, depression is real, actually, you don't understand the problems I'm going through. You're a moron. You are a moron. And the great thing about morons is, as you lose, there's no light without dark, right? There's no joy without pain.
Of course.
For me to be a winner, there needs to be losers. If you want to be depressed and sit around broke while I'm flexing in the Lambo, then do it. Go do it. But you're not going to convince me to join your way of thinking. The last thing, anyone who's watching this won't understand. The last thing you should ever do is adopt the thinking of someone who is sad. Why would you want to think like the sad person? I'm sad and I'm semi-suicidal. You should have the same views and beliefs as me. Get the fuck out of here.
No,
depression.
Damn.
It ain't real. There, I've just blown out the water. It's not real. You can come at me and say whatever you want. It's not real.
Man.
I need some more vodka.
Yeah. What you just heard. Ooh, dropped my phone. Oh my God. He said a lot. This man said a lot. Okay. Let's unpack what he said. Everything he said. Let's unpack all of it. I'm sorry because I was just, I'm over here laughing my ass off because what he says, like, at the end of the whole thing is just plain out hilarious, and you can tell that this comes from a place. He comes from a very high place of thinking, like, these are the people that have it all, or at least that's what it appears to be. That's why they have this stupid mindset. But let's just break down what he exactly said. Okay, okay. Before I go any further with my criticisms, I'm gonna agree with him with one thing. His premise is basically saying that what he's arguing is what is situational depression. That could be curable. But to say depression isn't real, he's lying because it is real. I don't need to try to convince you that it's not real because it's a fact that it's real because there's different types of depression. What you just did, sir, is you just looped all depression into just being one thing, one specific type of depression, when there's other forms of depression. There's major depression, there's persistent depressive disorder, there's bipolar disorder, there's seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, psychotic depression, postpartum depression. That's what most women experience after giving birth. Sheesh, I'm glad I'm not a woman in regards to that. Situational depression, which is what he's explaining, and atypical depression. Now, that's what he's describing. He's describing situational depression, meaning your situation is the reason why you're depressed, and most people can change the situation unless they have no control over the situation. Just want to read the comments right quick. Yeah, that's what I wondered last night when I was watching this myself. Hey. Hope y'all enjoying the show. Thanks for watching. But yeah, what he's describing is situational depression. Like if I work at a garbage ass job and I have I'm the one that can control that. I mean, they can fire me, but I can also quit. So if I don't like the job, I can quit. So that's basically what he's describing. Hey, what's good, Brody? That's what he's describing. But to say that it's not real, honestly, on his part, is disingenuous. Like he said a lot. First of all, Robin Williams, he killed himself. He didn't kill himself because he was actually, feeling down. He killed himself because he had a form of dementia. Dementia. He had another form of dementia that that messed with his mental state. His mental state was going down. Like he was losing his sense of thought, comprehension. He was losing all that stuff. So he thought, hey, I'm gonna die anyway, so I may as well off myself. Because living with that, it's a different animal. Like that's a mental illness that he was dealing with. That's what made him kill himself. Nobody wants to deal with mental illnesses. Like he said a lot of interesting things too, like therapy. He mentioned, first of all, when you go to therapy, first of all, actually I'm gonna play some more because he said something else.
Hey, let's get some more
vodka
for Andrew, bro. I'll say this, man. Andrew Tate in the house, guys. I said it too, man. Especially as a man, your accomplishments, right, from your competence creates confidence.
Yeah.
Most of the time, these guys that are depressed, it's because they haven't accomplished anything. They're sitting at home crying.
You're depressed because your life's depressing. You wake up, you're fat, you're lonely. You go to the fridge, there's no milk. I can't even have Cheerios. That's it. I'm depressed. Of course. That's because you're living a depressing lifestyle. If you woke up sexy, like me, you'd be okay. But this is the thing. As a man, you need to build your value. This has all been discussed a million times before. All the things I have are things I've got myself. If you have nothing worth having, you're going to live a depressing life. I don't believe in depression. I refuse to believe.
That's the thing, Mr. Tate. You don't have to believe in it. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't negate the fact that it exists. It's real. I just listed the types of depression there is out there. So is major depression, is that fake? Persistent depression disorder, is that fake? Bipolar disorder, is that fake? Seasonal affective disorder, is that fake? Those things are not fake because people go on medication because of those things because there's no exact cure for it. Yes, there's cure for situational depression, but ain't no cure for all that other stuff that I listed. And also he said something in there about being selfish. Let me address that. In fact, for those of you who just tuned in, I'm gonna play it for y'all one more time.
Everybody,
all of Hollywood is gutted for men. Men suffer from depression more than females because of man's extreme selfishness. That's what I'm going to call it, and I'm going to tell you why it's not real in a second. But if you're depressed, you're living inside of your mind. You're obsessed with how you feel. You don't care about anything outside of yourself, and you're an exceptionally selfish person.
So, how is being depressed selfish? Like, I want to know that. Like, being sad and being depressed, you're first of all, and then he said something about Chester Bennington, the member of Linkin Park, killing himself. First of all, you don't even know why or what that person was going through for him to want to take his own life. That's number one. Like, that's a pretty shallow thing to say because you don't know that man. You don't know why he did what he did. And you also mentioned people being fat and depressed. Like, so I noticed that people link depression to just being fat. You don't have to necessarily be morbidly obese or whatever to feel depressed. Dak Prescott plays for the Cowboys. You know him. He was depressed because his brother passed away. So is that fake? Is he faking it? Yeah, I agree, Susie. He is a coward.